going on, guys? Mike Sheemer here. Just wanted to talk real quick about what I think about having an emergency fund, just to kind of cover you financially in case something happens to your family or to you. You're unable to work, somebody gets sick, somebody gets injured. There's an emergency repair on your house or your car. There's so many catastrophes that could happen, especially these days, unfortunately. There's with viruses and hurricanes and storms and, political unrest. Unfortunately, the list goes on and on. I should be kind of more down to earth, but a lot of layoffs, a lot of economic disruption, huge inflation on things like grocery prices, mortgage, rent, sometimes gas pumps. I think the prices are coming down, but there could be a stock market event. Right now, the market is sky high, as I've discussed in many videos. But that could certainly it's not going to last forever. The bull market doesn't always last forever. It never does, but it's just a matter of time. So anyways, for an emergency fund, a lot of people, the financial experts, they recommend 3 to 6 months of savings to cover your expenses. So first of all, I would say, just to be on the safe side, you may want 6 to 12 months, especially if you don't have like disability insurance, you don't have a ton of financial cushion, you don't have a lot of other equity you could draw from. If it's locked up in your house, that's a little tough to unlock. You don't want to have to necessarily sell too many stocks and ETFs and other securities if needed, and then create taxable events. Again, I'm not a financial expert. I'm just kind of talking about just basic stuff, and just my opinions. Of course, what I'm doing, what I've done in the past. Either as a lower class, middle class, or upper middle class. So I'm not in the wealthy class, at least not yet, not for a while, admittedly. So I'm not trying to pretend I am. Maybe I'm upper middle class in a good day on a good year, So at least 6 months, maybe 12 months. You probably don't want to have it in a regular bank account where you're making almost no interest. So let's take Bank of America, for example. I'm sorry, I'm a shareholder. I'll probably grow my position in Bank of America over time. So it's very dependable, lots of locations, all that. But let's be honest, the regular savings account, or even their CDs, even their money markets, are horrendous for their interest rates. Very, very, very low. You're basically losing money to inflation by keeping your money in there, like I did for so many years, unfortunately. You're not losing money like, that your numbers aren't going down, but your buying power is going down by having it in there. So you can, first of all, I wouldn't recommend having it in a regular savings account. I wouldn't recommend it being locked up in a CD unless you're getting a ridiculous return on it. So unless you're getting like 5, 6, or more than 6%, and I don't know where you would do that, not many places, I wouldn't lock it up in a CD, because that I think you get you either can't withdraw it or you get severely penalized, and that's where they make a lot of their money, when people mess up and then they get to collect on fees and penalties. So I would instead put it in a high yield savings account, as long as you're able to withdraw it quickly and withdraw enough of it. Sometimes it is delayed. Sometimes I found in high yield savings accounts, the HYSAs, You can only withdraw a certain amount or deposit a certain amount per month, or per day, whatever it is. There are limits, and it can tie things up for a few days or a few weeks, make it a slower process so they can hold on to your money for a little longer, or pay you a little less interest, by delaying a transfer. But I mean, the positives vastly outweigh the negatives for a high yield savings. So at least, if you're not investing that money, you can at least be making 4%, 4.5%. Previously, you could make 5% or 5.1% before the Fed rate cut, and they may do one more rate cut this year in 2024, if needed. So that would lower the HYSA interest rates again. But you don't want to be, I say this silly phrase, you don't want to be caught with your pants down. You don't want to be caught unprepared by a financial hardship that you have to plan for. Nobody plans for getting hurt or somebody dying, or I mean, very few people do. The most successful people usually do. A lot of people, they don't have the money, or they don't find the money, they don't make the money, they don't make the priority to prepare for these things. But they happen to almost everybody, so you have to be ready. Insurance is a good idea. An emergency fund is a good idea. Exploring different financial options, having side hustles, like what I do, is good. Having dividend income and distributions every single week is a great idea, or week or month, quarterly, whatever it is, a regular, consistent passive income stream, or multiple streams. I have my Live Good business, which is active and passive income. I have my SEO business, which is active income. I have my dividends and my ETFs, which give me dividends and distributions every day or every week at the very least. And you can take a look at some of my videos to learn more about those things. But until you have that emergency fund, you need to hustle. You need to be frugal. You need to get that money somehow. You need to earn extra money, save extra money. I don't care if you have to go to Dollar Tree, or you have to go to Costco or Walmart, or cut back your going out to eat, cut back on your entertainment, your travel, whatever. You have to get that money initially. You have to pay off debts, pay off high interest debts. Those will kill you. Those will destroy you, and that's the opposite of having an emergency fund, or the opposite of having an investment portfolio, or extra income. That's going to destroy you. If you have credit card debt, or if you have if you have car payments at like 15%, or if you have a mortgage at 8%, 7 or 8%, or something insane, that's part of it, to take care of that first. But really, don't be set up with 3 months or even 6 months of an emergency fund. As long as you're making a little money, you can even invest it, if you want, your emergency fund, in something that's like risk-free. I mean, I'm talking as low risk as it gets, and liquid too. So that's the key. So I'm not saying have that money sit around and do nothing for you. You can at least put it in a high yield savings account, at least put it in the most conservative, safest investments if you want. If you can liquidate it, at the drop of a hat. So those are just some of my thoughts. I've always been kind of a saver. I've always had, not to be bragging or anything, I've always had a ton of money compared to the average person, because things have gone wrong all the time for me. I've had business declines. I've lost jobs. I've graduated college into the recession. We've dealt with COVID as a business owner. I've had 2 kids, and I mean, you have to be ready. I've always been ready. But the average American, I meant to say this earlier, the average American doesn't have $1,000 if something happens. They don't have $1,000. They can't cover anything. If something happens, if one thing happens, one little thing happens, they are ruined financially. And I know people like that. I know people who are overextended. I live below my means. For better or for worse, I've always lived below my means. I've always had money. I've always had savings. I've always had different options and backup plans. Plan B, C, D, E. I've always hustled. But a lot of people, if one bad thing happens, they're screwed, to put it nicely. So don't be that person. Do what you have to do to get in a position to get 6 to 12 months of liquid money just in case. Get insurance if you need to. If maybe your company offers some low cost, disability insurance or life insurance or something like that. Those are my recommendations. And yeah, make sure you do what you have to do. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on an emergency fund, on how you're doing financially, what you think about for savings versus investing, versus paying off bills versus mortgage, and different things like that. Whatever you have to do, cutting back on expenses, side hustles, anything on a related topic. So thanks for watching. More videos coming soon, better videos coming soon. Take a look at my links below. Thanks, guys.